Hello everybody and welcome back. Back into the armor stand world. We're just going to do another kind of quick armor stand recap doodad shenanigans, and then we're going to do some armor scenes, armor stand scenes, so you can kind of get a look at least what my process looks like when I'm doing stuff. And that's pretty much it. So, can I do that? All right. So the usual stuff. Get the book, which is awesome. Do be aware that I'm using a custom texture for my book, so your book will not look like this. It'll just look like a normal enchanted book. Hey there, Apep, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I'm a bit weird, and yeah, so there you go. So once again, the Armor Stand book can be found at Mookie Tanuki's First Forge website. You could also find it on vanillatweaks.net, but the version on vanillatweaks.net is older. And if you want all the really cool stuff that I'll be showing you here, like the use of the wands and such, then you'll want the one from Mookie Tanuki's Curse Forge. Great Vanilla Tweaks data packs that do go along with this, though, are the more mob heads and the player head drops and the wandering trades, which will sell you all sorts of like mini blocks and stuff. They will also sell you hermit heads if you get the hermit version of the wandering trades, or if you go to this website, you can make your own custom wandering trader that will give you all of your player heads of the players that are on your server. You can like just plug your whitelist right into the little box and it'll give you all your server players as well as options. Player heads work pretty much the same way that other mob heads do, the actual vanilla mob heads do. You can kind of get a feel of the size of the way that the heads will display. And they all kind of work like that. Or you can just use regular blocks. Block sizes do vary. This is the biggest size you get on armor stands. And then on a mini stand, you get the smaller, large in hand, and small in hand. So you actually get quite a variety of sizes of things. Also, we'll discuss a little bit the auto-align presets. Those are pretty cool. You can put things in armor item frames. That's a vanilla thing. But also you can put in an invisible item frame. You can turn item frames invisible with the data pack. Or you can place the tool flat on surface with the auto-align preset. Items in item frames are slightly different than tools in item frames and tools in armor stands. In an invisible item frame, I just have this spun around so that it would match the placement of that, so we could compare sizes, because the sizes do change a bit same as they change here because they're shrunk to fit into the item frame. So you can also use item flat on surface or item on surface, which will kind of put it upright like a display. And then block on surface is used for regular blocks, which now I cannot place this here because this guy is in the way, but you get the idea. Also, we have the tool rack option in the auto align, which is really neat because it is interactable. You can take the tools out and put them back, which is pretty cool. Cotton, I don't think you or Apep know each other. You're from two separate servers that I am a part of. So when servers collide is what's going on here. So when it comes to armor stands, you need to stand within 2 blocks of the armor stand to be able to control it. With the styles, you have a lot of different settings that you can use. Show arms is one of the most important settings because that's how you give it stuff to hold. And then tell it to give it back to you. Another important one is to turn off gravity whenever, like, any item, like, any armor stand you're working with, turning off gravity, very important. Another one is making it invisible, which, you know, rude. Oh, it won't stay invisible if it's not actually holding something. That's a new setting that they actually just changed. So if it's not holding something, it won't stay invisible because, you know, server lag and other things. It's not cool. So you can turn it invisible, which also makes it so that it is wrong button, no longer visible as an entity. Although, hello, others are. And of course, you have the utilities, which is another really important one, is to lock it, which is nice. And let's see. One thing to be aware of is if the stand is invisible, I'm going to change my mode for just a second here. You cannot hit them if it's invisible. They are uninteractable. If you want to be able to interact with an arm, you'll see what that is in a second. If you want to be able to interact with an armor stand, I think I already unlocked you, you need to make it visible again. And then you can hit it all you want. So that's the main stuff when it comes to armor stands. Yes, I love the wheelchair that Cleo made. She was actually back in season 6 when she was doing her zoo. She discussed diversity in her armor stands because she was making a lot of figures and crowd scenes in her zoo as well. And at one point she made a figure, a stand with a cane. And she mentioned while she was pointing out the stand with a cane, she mentioned that she was working with people from her servers, because she has some really awesome armor stand patron servers. She mentioned that she was working with them to figure out a good wheelchair design, and I'm very glad that they did manage to do that because it's just really amazing. Okay, so a little bit more. When you're messing around with the armor stands, we have the nudge thing. Nudge is pushing an armor stand. I need to come back here now. Whee! Is pushing an armor stand back and forth and up and down. So if I want to nudge this armor stand in some direction, that's pretty much what nudging does. It's pushing the armor stand around. When you're using the nudge, you use your X and Z. Nudge, the top nudge position, this is world relative to the world. So negative X is in west, positive X is east, negative Z is north, and positive Z is south. If you're using the top nudge menu, they will always move that many pixels in that direction. But if you want it to, like, if you have trouble remembering what direction you're facing, which frankly I do all the time, even with my little MiniHud up there, positive X is always to your right, negative X is always to your left. Negative Z is always away from you, positive Z is towards you. So when you use the relative aligned, this is in relation to your position. It will always move, negative X will always move to your left, positive X will always move to your right, negative Z will always move away from you, positive Z will always move towards you. Relative exact is a little more tricky. The relative aligned is, well, aligned. That's what aligned means. It is aligned to the world grid, which means to the up and downy bits. Relative exact is relative to you, to your exact position. So I'm going to actually take you away and put you back so you're straight here. So if you are diagonal and you tell it to nudge, remember negative Z is always away from you, away, it will move on the diagonal, which is very handy for some very exact movement type things. Okay, we're kind of backish to where we started. So that's how that works. The other positional thing is the pose adjust. Pose adjust is adjusting the arms and legs and head and body of your stance. Pose adjust works along the plane. The X will always move along this circle. The Z will always move along this circle, and the Y will move along this circle. And I'm going to switch to the adjustment wand for this because it makes it slightly easier to show. So make sure that I'm set for X. So if I want to move the leg on the X axis, it will always spin along that axis, along its joint. And that's what these little bits here that are highlighted with the adjustment wand are. So we have two adjustment wands. This one is the pointer wand, and this is pretty much pointing. You click, right click, and it'll move it to a neutral position. So it moves everything to a neutral position, nice and steady. If you right click on the base, it'll spin it a little bit. If you left click, it turns the arms on and off, removes the base, makes it invisible, all sorts of fun stuff like that. It's a little less useful than just using the book, because the book actually explains what you're doing rather than having to try to memorize it. The adjustment wand is a lot easier, because if I wanted to adjust this armor stand's legs, I would have to go pose adjust, right leg, X plus, pose adjust, right leg, X plus, and back and forth. Or I could just come up to it with the wand and click it. And you would left click to move it the other direction. All of these like amounts that it's rotating, like that's a pretty big adjustment, right? All of those are taken here. I currently have it set at 45 rotation, but if I set it at 5 rotation, there we go. It's just little bits. But those aren't quite as apparent when you're showing stuff off. So we'll set it to 45. Z, once again, will go around this. So let's put it to Z. So Z will move along this axis. Y will move around this axis, which is slightly, these are all slightly weird depending on like the location, general area of the arms. For example, all of these are, the legs are pointing straight down, but they rotate along this axis, which means you get spinny legs, which is kind of handy for certain things. Same with the arms, you get spinny arms. If you want to be able to see like what it's doing along the axis, you need to move the arm up like this, and now it'll spin around the axis and like be really obvious. This is cool though, because you are able to like get weird adjustments, like you can move, this is doing the X, this is still Y, but since this arm has been positioned in an odd place, it's kind of doing a weird spinny thing instead. So these are all things that you're going to want to practice with, obviously, to get a good feel for it. I think that's most everything that is covered. Swap slots is really handy. You can move things from the main hand to the offhand, so you can put it in the left hand versus the right hand, or to the head, which is how you achieve blockheads and stuff like that, or put heads in hands if that's a thing that you want to do. So I'm going to go run around and show you a few armor stands. This is the one I was doing in my last stream. I just added a little extra here and is showing off the stand on fire thing, which is kind of amusing. We'll come over here and we'll do a stand thing in a little bit, but I wanted to show off some of the stands that I've done before, just to give you some ideas of what can be done. Hey Pep, you may find some of this stuff familiar. I don't know if you looked at the world download from Horizon or not. No, you weren't on Horizon. It was Glitch and Captain Upside that were on Horizon. So hello Glitch and hello Captain Upside. If you are watching, these things will be very familiar. So at one point we had a little kind of display contest thing that was, hey, let's make some Thanksgiving floats because it was almost Thanksgiving time. So we always have, like, you know, the Thanksgiving Day parade has balloons, so let's do a balloon. And, you know, people carrying the balloons, very standard, and somebody getting carried away by the balloon. I think Captain actually did this one, or did I do this one and Captain just helped me with the wrangling? He's a balloon! He's famous! He's a famous polar bear balloon. Yes, you are. But once again, you know, just like the usual kind of fun things. Little parade, guy playing the drums, that kind of stuff. And this one I had a lot of fun with. You know, you always have musicians on floats with little scenes on them and they're doing their thing. Thank you. I can't remember. I really don't remember if I made this one. I'm pretty sure Cap made this one, but I stole it to show because it's so cool. But so I made a little musical act float. You probably can't really recognize who they are because they're like, unless you're like really into K-pop, it's not like super famous. He's enjoying being famous. He is not being tortured, are you? No, you're a good little polar bear. But this is BTS singing on their little float. So I did music. Please forgive me, it's really crappy. I'm not very good with music note blocks, but so there we go. It's them singing on their float. And I really enjoyed making this. Also, I had a lot of fun getting the star just right, despite the Z fighting. Oh, look at that Z fighting. Ooh, oh yeah. Anyway. And of course, the kids running alongside as they always are. So that one was a lot of fun. Some more builds and armor stand stuff. This is also from my Horizon. From my Horizon build. Word of advice, children? Don't build diagonal buildings. They're such a... Although, frankly, it does look kind of cool. But this is one of my... I did a lot of armor standing this year. The year that this server was done. But nice little inn with a tavern and scenes with all of the people sitting around and chatting. You know, little lovers in the corner. Cats making plans. Lots of jumping. And this would amuse me just a little bit. The sad, sad trader. So. As I am very fond of saying, and Glitch will also back me up, as will Cap, they're not really that laggy. It takes a lot of armor stands. A lot of armor stands to get lag. I mean, like, your typical cow crusher or chicken farm is going to get you a lot more lag than a handful of armor stands. I didn't understand. I don't remember where I put armor stands anymore. But if you remember in the short season, which was what, season 7 was the season with the big moon? I cannot remember what season is what anymore. I swear to God. On Hermitcraft, Zombie Cleo and Joe Hills made that big castle of theirs, and Zombie Cleo did armor stands to decorate the... 8 was Big Moon? Okay. I cannot remember what is what, okay? But, Zombie Cleo did window treatments on every window of their castle. And each window had, I think, 16 to 32 stands. I can't remember which. Probably 16 stands, and there were multiple, like, so at least 10 to 15, 20 windows. You're just remembering all of Korean's builds. That's a good way to memorize it, actually. So, so there was, like, you know, 8 to 16 stands, 16 to 32, 16 stands per window, and they had way less lag than Bodum did. So even before Doc flooded Bodum with goats, they had way less lag than Bodum ever did. So this one I really enjoyed. This is my church. I don't know, screaming goats just look like, you know, Protestant pastors to me, don't they? I just fit so well. My you know, my thing. This was a lot of fun. This isn't actually armor stands. I think only the rails on this, and of course the player, are armor stands. Everything else just normal blocks and banners. That was just, like, really fun to figure out how to build this thing. Hello, upside down melon cake. How are you doing today? Welcome to the weirdness that is my stream. I'm just showing off some armor stand stuff so people can kind of get an idea of what's, you know, doable and stuff. Where is it? And up here, we have King Hans. Ask Upside or Glitch to tell you about King Hans. He was awesome. Ringing the church bell and getting a little carried away. So there's, like, a lot of different things you can do with armor stands. And it's not just people. There are, as I fly away. I mean, this one, I'm sure everybody has watched this video because I've posted it about 1,000,000 times, but this one, obviously. This was one of my first big armor stand builds. This was, like, my very first big armor stand thing, was doing this. These dresses were both a giant pain and really, really fun to make, let me tell you. Also, Beauty and the Beast, because you have to. But it's not just people. You can do cool things like stuff, little decorations and things like this. But a really good example of it's not just people, as this is so many armor stands. This little alchemical scene in here. A lot of these things on the table, the bottles, those are all armor stands. So just, like, a lot of cool decoration-y stuff here. These are all armor stands. That's an armor stand. So it's really good for just, like, little details as well. But if you want more armor stands, I said before, this is, like, one of my favorite types of, like, armor stand scenes, is a little bonfire. This has a lot more detail than the one that I did over there. But Or you have kids playing Ring Around the Rosie or something. Or kids playing Skittles. Yes, Skittles. Or Ring Toss. Ring Toss. This was fun to figure out how to do this. Can you guess what I did for the rings? Can anybody guess what I did for my rings on this? Kids in a cult. Yes. Cotton candy for the win. They are composters. There's not a lot of things that you can put like ring-shaped in Minecraft, but if you say composters, they are hollow in the center. So that's a neat little thing. And this was a fun build to try to figure out too. Anybody want to play some board games? We got chess, we got some backgammon. These are banners. I actually made custom banners to place. You can see their little sticks actually, but custom banners to make little game boards, which was a lot of fun as well. And then fighting knights. This one was fun to make as well. Crowd scenes are kind of fun, but they do tend to get a little repetitive. You'll notice that a lot of them look a lot alike in their position. And of course, we got the wandering trader over here taking bets. But this is just like just a handful of like stuff that I've done before that I wanted to be able to like kind of save in this world and show off. So you can see like there's a lot of different things that you can do with armor stands. They're really, really, and like most of these are people. I did like one like decoration-y thing, and okay, Apep, you know Cap. Cap is actually a lot better than I am at the detail decoration kind of thing. Captain Upside can do a lot of really cool things with that. I've like he says he like I taught him, but seriously, he taught himself like amazing. So now I have this set up over here. He does. He's a really good builder too, but he always says he isn't. It's kind of silly. So I have this little like scene set up. We're gonna do a little bring Horizon people to Astral. Well, I mean, Apep, you are welcome to come over to the Astral campgrounds as well if you'd like. I'll actually like Candy, can you throw a link up in chat for me? Since you're there, like if I stop to type, I'm gonna like get so confused. But and like I really don't want to like try to like advertise for Astral elsewhere because I don't want Twitch to get mad at me. Uh-oh. Is it not letting you post a link? Is that what that is? Oh goodness. What? Why are you doing that? You should be allowed to like do that, but apparently it's not, and I don't know how to change it. So give me a minute and I will. Okay. Are you just doing the lodge.astral.camp? Because I can do that. Don't put yourself down, Apep. That makes sense. Now let's see if did I spell that right? Yeah, well, I'm the streamer, so I think I get like extra super duper allowances for being able to post stuff. Discord, I can't open Discord right now or I will like seriously lag my computer out. I can't have Discord and Streamlabs open at the same time. So let's see. Armor statue, scene. So we're gonna fill our stuff with all sorts of random stuff here. Some of this. All it does is take practice, my dude. Okay, we're gonna do a little scene here of some hermits raiding a temple or something and stealing away a thing. This is kind of my rough idea of what we're doing here. Very, like, detailed, right? So we're gonna start... Okay, cool. With a combat scene. No, that looks weird. Why? I don't want that chest plate. I don't like that chest plate. Can I take that chest plate? Okay, there we go. Nope, don't do that. Okay, who should be fighting? Let's make it... That's going to happen a lot. Wear your helmets when doing armor stands because you will end up putting armor stand heads on your own head about 1,000,000 times. That's just how it works. So, show arms, turn off faceplate. These are pretty much like whenever you're doing armor stands, these are pretty much the main things that you're going to do first. Is always show the arms, turn off the base plate, and turn off gravity. Now, Fultz is going to be fighting. So let's go play with the presets here. Oh, I moved too far away before it could adjust. Remember that hell having to stay close. Okay. But I don't like that body. So let's fix this. And I need to adjust my rotation because I have it set really high still. So still pretty high rotation. Wrong way. There we go. There, that looks a little better. Now, Fultz needs a sword, but unfortunately, when you put swords in hands, that actually doesn't look too bad. Sometimes the swords face in weird, but that actually doesn't look too bad. Fultz needs shoes, though. I don't like pain numbers. Why did I give myself? I don't like. There we go. That's much better. Okay. Come on. So Fultz is fighting somebody. I think Fultz needs a shield, though, first. So in order to do shields, you need to steal her sword. And apparently her shirt. Come on. There we go. Give her the shield. Oh, look at that. It gave the shield right in the proper hand the first time. Usually I end up fighting over what arm goes where or whatever. Okay. So Fultz needs to put her shield up. I think I still have this on X, so we'll just bring that up. And now I want her to bring the arm in, which will be Z-axis. No, it'll be Y-axis, because... Nope, wrong way. There we go. I think we want to put the arm down a little bit. There we go. That looks good. That looks pretty. So there we go with her. And then you lock. And you're ready to move on to the next stand. So we will have Fultz fighting a pillager head dude. These pillager head dudes are always good bad guys. No, I am not a pillager head. Thank you very much. Did I bring boots? Okay. So, give us some arms. Off our base plate. Gravity. Let's go check our presets. Puts on pillager head. Yeah, that's right. There's a little foreshadowing for you there, right? Let's have him do lunging 2 a little bit, but I actually want him to be, yeah, that's a good way to have his body, and I think I'm gonna, he is not gonna have a shield. He's just gonna have a sword. And I think what we're gonna do first, a tiny rotation. I think we're still on x-axis. I'm gonna move his head down. There we go. So he's a little more focused right on Fultz's sword. And I think he looks good-ish. So we're gonna switch. Yeah, whatever, we'll have those on, I suppose. We're going to... Ah! What the heck? That's not what I wanted to do at all. Holy crap. This is the problem, is like doing armor stands in creative. This is going to be a little weird. I don't like his arm. His arm forward a little bit. There, he looks very menacing. So now we're going to nudge him. I kind of do, but I also like the fact that they look like armor stands a little bit. I like the, I kind of like the weird arms of them. It makes it like, it does make it a little more obvious that, hey, this was made, which I know is kind of weird, but... False is just really skinny. You know, so I'm using the relative here because it's relative to me. So I can nudge him diagonally to come up, like, directly to False there. I think I want to nudge him a little closer, though. But not very... There we go. That looks dangerous and menacing. So now we'll lock him. That looks good. Everybody is bringing up the wheelchair scene. I think Cleo really did make a huge winner when it came to that. That one was definitely amazing. Okay. So now let's try... Let's have Etho. Even though he's washed up. Let's do an Etho. Okay, let's see. I think Etho is going to be... What is Etho going to be doing? What should Etho be doing? While I'm setting everything up here, what is Etho doing? Etho is making a device. I don't know. This is like a medieval fight scene kind of thing. So, do you think? You know, my I can't show you this because I don't do the screen thing and everything. But my son just handed me a note saying Etho is being wrecked by Gem. So I think Etho getting his butt handed to him is definitely a thing that's going to happen now, apparently. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here I've got it. Sorry, Etho. I need that back. So we're going to go to presets and we're going to go to running. But then we're going to still in x-axis. Oh, that's far too much, too little rotation. We need to fix that. We're going to take Etho's head off. Make sure it's not pointing out the back. All right. So that's pretty much that for that part. And let's set up gem next so that we know what direction. My son has good ideas. I like to think so. Okay. So Gem, I think, is snuck up on Etho. I think Gem snuck up on Etho. So the Hermits were all technically good guys. But it looks like some of them turn here. So we have Gem. Where's Gem? There's Gem's head. Gem. How did I get the Hermit heads? Okay, so I have a mod on my computer right now that gives me access to the Minecraft-heads.com database. And you can look up player heads. And it will give you their heads. I can also find other people's heads that I know and steal their heads as well. Because that's just who I am. But Minecraft.heads.com is really one of the best places to find player heads. So I have a mod that allows me access to it. You can do it on a server. The mod I'm particularly specifically using the mod I'm specifically using is the one that we used on, I just completely blanked, on Asterism. We didn't use it a lot, but that was the same mod. It's by Potato Presidents, and it's called essentially just Head Index or something to that effect. If you're on Paper Server, there's a plugin that allows the same thing. So you can do it like that. Or if you're on a server and the server mods don't want to add the mod or the plugin, if you have player head drops, you can just go to minecraft.heads.com and download a head skin, put it on your body, and kill yourself. That's what Zombie Cleo does for all of her skins, all of her heads that aren't sold by the Wandering Trader or found via more mob heads data pack. And in fact, I downloaded a really cool schematic for a head farm that I have to, actually I was going to post it over on the Hylandsia. Is that how we're pronouncing that? Discord, but I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm slow and lazy. But anyways, back to Jen. We're gonna just make this super casual. Gem is just gonna be like super casual here. That was the wrong one. There we go. I'm gonna have to change my rotation. Yes, Captain Upside on Minecraft is Upside Down Melon Cake on Twitch, and something really weird on Discord, and something else really weird on Twitter. Cap has all sorts of really weird names. Let's move her a little closer. I need to work on that rotation. That was the way I wanted to turn it in the first place. I'm just very easily confused. I need to fix the rotation, I think. Still a bit much. There we go. It's all about the details. All about the details. Okay. So we have Gem just super casually chopping off Etho's head. But, you say, where's Etho's head? Well, let's see. Let's put it flying off right about here. You're not taking over, or talking, or anything else of that nature. You're fine. Okay, Etho's head. We do not need to show arms this time. In fact, we're going to make the stand invisible. And then oh, okay, so adjustment 1 does not want to work on invisible stands. So let's because I can't aim at invisible. Okay, there. Yeah, that's good. Let's rotate the stand a bit though. Nope, I think I want it the other way. There we go. Set a little so. And the rotation turned up again. Always remember to check your rotation, because that's like really annoying. That's nice and quick. I don't think I turned off gravity, and I'm going to have to because we're going to be shoving this down in. There we go. Etho's head flying off as Gem just casually takes it out. Now, the question is, how gory do you want to get? Because there are some very, very good, let's see, crimson roots are really great for this. We can just and I'm going to do the item preset, sets it just nice up perfect, and then we're just going to nudge you over. I think it's a little more. Okay. There we go. Got to get the verisimilitude there. Very good. Okay. Now, I think over in this corner, we're going to have Grian doing some shenanigans because we've got a Grian head too. So what is Grian going to be doing? I think Grian is going to be stealing the MacGuffin because that sounds like a Grian thing to do. We're going to hit presets again. Presets are really handy because it's really easy to just like set up like a nice easy preset thing, and then you can just like riff up. I forgot to turn off my gravity, didn't I? Always remember to turn off your gravity. I'm going to have him rotate a little bit because we need one that lamp is coming away. There we go. That way he has his kind of back to everyone. That's a good thing, I think. Down a little bit more. Kind of still floating. Okay. Now, those arms are being silly. So, I think, what axis are we sitting? Okay, still on Z, but I just changed my rotation, so I got to take care of that first. Okay. So bring your arms down. Down, I said. Down. Down. Bye. I wonder if it's possible to have multiple wands just set with the axes. So that you can just like switch back and forth. No, I'm not. I'm not replaying this, but the I will be uploading the video to YouTube when it's done. So, well, hopefully if I remember before like Twitch makes it go disappear, I will be uploading it to YouTube. There we go. Now we want him to be putting that in the bag. So let's kind of put it so that it looks like kind of putting it in the bag. That kind of looks like that, right? That looks good. Now we need to fix his head though. In head fixes, you don't really want a lot. Of changes. There we go. Just make his focus down there on the stuff. And I think that's pretty good. But Grian, oh Grian, do be careful because Cub Fan, or is it Pearlescent Moon? Who is it? Cub Fan or Pearlescent Moon is sneaking up on Grian? Who's sneaking up on Grian? Ah, how do I keep putting the clothing on? Let me tell you. You think Rendog is sneaking up on Grian? Rendog it is then. And Rendog we're going to do something special with. Because Rendog's going to have a dagger, not a sword. So we're going to... First, let's see. Presets. We're going to go with... lunging again, because I kind of like that body position. Because this kind of like, the body like this kind of looks kind of sneaky. Sneaky. And we're going to... move this arm up. I have the rotation down really low, but eh. And let's see. Put your head down a little bit. You're sneaking up. Actually, I think you need to raise your arm. The other arm, though. All right. Ren is being sneaky. And Ren needs a dagger. And it's getting kind of close here. My goodness. Okay. So we're going to give this stand sword. And then make it enough gravity. And then we're going to make it a mini stand. Beep. And now we have a dagger. I mean, ugh. The perils of doing it. Creative. Okay, actually what I'm going to do is going to set this into the lunging preset as well, just so that everything kind of angles fits properly. Arm angle thing. Arm angle thing! Because that's a thing. It's arm angle. Actually, you know what? do want that arm angle to stay the same, but we need a stabby motion. That, I think. Okay. Make sure I turned off my gravity, because that's always a thing you need to remember to do. I'm going to make you invisible, just so I can see the sword better. Mini jams. Oh, goodness. Nope, that was not what I wanted to do. I'm easily confused if you didn't figure that out. I just did the exact same thing again, didn't I? Wow. Okay. We want it to come towards me. There we go. My goodness. And we're edging up on just a little over an hour here, so I think we're going to end pretty soon, just to give you a warning. If there's any other questions you have, feel free to let me know. Getting closer to his hand. Gee. How's that look? Does that look stabby? I think I need to drop it down just a little bit. There we go. With Brian stealing the MacGuffin and getting ready to be stabbed, we have False, the only one not fighting one of our own. And we have Gem taking off Etho's head. And of course, like, I'm sure there's like a million other things we could think of for this scene as well. But this is pretty cool, considering the lack of time at the moment. She needs a challenge. Indeed. And of course, like, you know, all sorts of other things, but I thought that would just be like a cool idea to like show you like all the little bits and how the like adjustments and everything work. So I think that's going to be it for now, unless you guys come up with any more questions for me in the next few seconds here. Oh, actually here. Zoom. MinecraftHeads.com. That is the really cool website. Armor statues, more mob heads, player head drops, and of course, wandering trades. Hello. For our trading. Big shout out to Puck for coming up with the whole idea and making the book in the first place. MSpace Dev for coming up with tweaks and improvements, and Mookie Tanuki, who has been doing all of the work over the last couple years and has made so many really cool improvements, including the adjustment wands, which are so much more convenient. Yes, the armor stands can indeed hold anvils as well. Actually, hold on, let's see. Once again, the block will be smaller than its actual size, because unfortunately that's just the way it is. But if you set down a stand, give it arms, give it an anvil, swap slots to the head, you've got an anvil. That, especially if you turn off gravity, that will not fall. And frankly, when they're out on their own like this, it's kind of hard to tell that they're not exactly properly the same size. But yeah, anything, the only thing is that the armor stands, nope, that's pretty easy. Also, by the way, you can indeed walk right through any armor stands, so just keep that in mind when you're like doing your replays and stuff, because that's kind of weird. The only thing that you can't do is armor stands cannot hold armor. They can wear armor, and you can put you can put heads from their head to their hands, but they cannot hold armor. Yeah, there's like you really can do pretty near anything. Zoom back over to my signs. On YouTube, once again, Zombie Cleo, the Queen, SoulMC has not posted very much at all, but they have some really, really in-depth tutorials. I kind of stole this circly idea from them, from their tutorial show, actually. They've done some really amazing stand art that you can see in their videos. And JsyPanther also has some good-looking armor stand videos if you want to watch more armor stand content. Definitely, armor stands really do give builds so much more life. Like, I mean, I could have just built the tavern or built the church and left it as is. But I think they give so much more life to walk into the church and actually see people sitting in the pews and a choir, and you know, it's just gives it more life, makes things look more alive and active, and what's the word I'm looking for? Full of movement, but not really. Exactly. Always turn off gravity and always lock your stance. Invisibility too will help, actually, because it makes it so you can't interact with the stand, which also will help them from getting blown up by creepers, because I did an experiment actually the other day, and invisible stands don't get blown up. This won't get blown up by a creeper. Since these stands are visible because they've got the arms and everything going, they will get blown up by creepers, so do be careful, and shot by skeletons. So do be careful of that, but if your stand is invisible, yeah, it cannot be interacted with. Actually, here. Let's do a little... We're going to... because this is fun. I'm going to give Cub some arms, give it an anvil, and can't have Cub being naked here. Okay, we have Cub. I just put the armor on again. So if we turn this stand invisible and always turn off gravity. Okay, Cub doesn't have any arms anymore, but he also can't get blown up. So that is a thing to keep in mind. And now I will do a really crappy outro. Oh, look at this, I'm still wearing armor. Oh, goodness. There we go. Just because. So that's it for today. I'm just gonna hold TNT. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate you stopping in and chatting. It was really fun. I hope you enjoyed the armor stand stuff, because like I know that just watching me poke the armor stand book and stuff can be kind of boring. And I hope like actually having the adjustment wand saves a little bit of the whole boringness of it and makes it a little easier to watch rather than click, 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 click. Like if you have any more questions, like you know where I am on Discord probably already, so just feel free to ask me anything. And I'll catch y'all later. Thanks, guys.